Especially when VWAP aligns with like how here VWAP aligned with where the bottom of the consolidation and the top of resistance.
Yeah, that's perfect. That was a good trade.
Where'd you take your trade, Eloy?
At 6:45. At this point on Wednesday, I was just like stressed out, and it was all emotional trading, and I just needed wins, bro. And even though it was demo, I was just like, you can't even control your demo trading.
Hey, do you wake up sometimes and be like, fuck this, I don't want to do this shit?
Not right now. I think my mindset for that, like the quitter mindset, like I think that's very much worked on right now for this. I'll have like a thought or two every so often throughout the day, but I can easily like get rid of that thought. But it'll not be like fuck this. It'll be like, am I ever gonna get good at this? But I like eliminate that thought because if I let that thought grow,
Well,
For me, it's opening my eyes. That's when I have it.
What do you mean?
Like right when I open my eyes, I'm like, fuck, I do not want to get up to do this.
Oh, when you literally open your eyes. Well,
But
dude,
once I'm at my desk, I feel good.
yeah, like once you really get out of your bed. But
Yeah.
dude, if it's any consolation, you're going through the same shit like me and Eric are have gone through. You know, I've heard everything you're telling me. I've been through. So just keep going, dude.
oh yeah, this is it, bro. I've already sold too many wolf tickets to get out of this. I've been telling everyone I'm about to get rich.
That's why I don't tell people, man. It's more pressure.
Now I get what you're saying, but the way I'm telling people is what's keeping me okay about it because I'm letting people know there's a loss, there's losing involved in this, and if you're not willing to experience the losing, then yeah, you're gonna just quit. And I tell people like, yo, I've already seen myself have that wanting to quit, not wanting to quit, but want like early, like last year when Eric first showed me how to chart, and then I started learning how to chart, and I was like, I don't even know what this is for. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then finally, maybe after a week or two, something clicked, and I was like, oh, now I get it. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna figure this out then. And then some time goes by, a little bit of confidence, and then I come up against another hurdle, and I'm like, what is this about? Like, I don't even know what this is. Like, I'm probably gonna start losing from here on out. And then after some time, if I keep at it, I figured it out, and I'm like, oh, like this makes sense now. And so I've told people like I've already experienced like confusion to the max, but just keeping at it eventually solved that confusion. And so I was like, you're gonna have to realize that's like an important thing of life. Like, oh, you can just be confused for a little bit, but if you keep at it, you'll eventually figure it out.
Yeah. And do you study by yourself, like before the review too, or what?
That's where I'm like, I haven't been able to study as much as I know I need to outside. To me, right now, because I journal my day every day, my only reviews on my journal are these Saturdays, or like my only study days are these Saturdays. But I am like stepping that up a little bit. Where like this last week I had my own personal study session. The week before I had like another one. Where the whole year before that, or since we started doing these reviews, I never do it. I just use these reviews as my only study. But now I'm like,
What's your own study like? What do you review?
to me, what a study looks like. This week I started finally, like you guys are gonna be like, wow, you barely started doing that. We told you to do that a long time ago. But like putting all of my journaling all of my trade details on my Excel sheet, like every single one.
Oh yeah.
I've been always doing screenshots, but that's the extent of what I was doing before. Now I'm doing the screenshots and the Excel sheet. And right now, a study to me is like watching a video of something that's gonna show me something new. So it'll be a Carmine video, even if I rewatch a Carmine video. But I am already realizing the important. Like I'm already opening Bookmap to review old videos. Like I just haven't done it enough, or in a way where I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do every single day, or at least ever so often. This is how I review, like what we're doing right now. But I'm barely starting to open up Bookmap to replay videos this week.
So,
I think go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, so when I review every Friday, so I don't have to review every day. But during the week, I do either read, watch videos, or like really like pick something specific that I want to work on and then figure that out. So I'm not like studying random shit. But the review stuff you don't have to do every day. Do it like on a Friday,
Mhm.
right before the this review. You don't have to like burn yourself out or like really get detailed with it every single day. That shit's fucking annoying. I just do it every Friday. It's just going back to your trades and really paying attention to where you messed up or where you're doing good and seeing if you could do better. And but during the week, I feel like you do have to study some specific thing you're not good at so you can get better at it for the next coming week. And yeah, you just gotta be disciplined with that. And dude, get that trend trading book. It's the basics, and I'm reading it, and it's fucking helping me.
No, yeah, I wrote it down, and like, there's a lot of advice or tips you guys told me to look at this, and I write it down, and it's saved. The thing is, I need to get to it and like watch it or see it, read it, because honestly, I just don't make time for my own personal studying. But these last 2 weeks, like, I'm making strides. They might look very little to you guys, but the fact that I'm aware that, yo, you got to do this. So I'm like, I have to do a version of it, and right now I'm doing like
I'm
a
not.
small.
Yeah, well, people's schedules are different, so I'm not gonna even get on you for. I'm just giving you tips on like what to do and shit. But do it however you want, man. Just try to make some time for it during the week, and that's it,
No,
pretty
I
I
think
much.
to help your workflow of your studying, have like exactly the screenshots you want to take already set up in your mind. Like if you look at my journal, all the things I take photos of are always the same things. It's gonna be my full uh my full chart of ES, SPY, and VX. Then I have NQ right here. Then I have this is just due to market context to explain to me. That one I rarely do. But then I also want to start having this one where it's a large chart of where I could see market context and understand why the levels I chose to trade in that day were important. So here, just going into the trade now, I remember Gabriel had like a 90-minute demand and I had an hour demand. But the reason I selected the hour demand was I just liked how it looked a little better. But then when I looked at it extended, I liked how many times it was getting tapped. And then you can also see the wedge that or the trend lines that I had shown you guys earlier, where this to me, this resistance, I was kind of looking at that to be a level we hit this day based on the fact that we were making higher lows again. And on the pullback in pre-market, uh, it didn't break under and it was super strong aggressive selling, yet buyers kept pushing up higher. So then when we came to my actual chart here, I just had bullish sentiment in general. That's not it. I had bullish sentiment in general because we were holding my 1 hour demand, which pulled back and got tapped, and then it popped up again, and that's when I seen where's my book? The two outliers appear at 60/80. This was zoomed out super far. Um, and then yeah, you could just see the two outliers I had at 60/79, 60/80. Damn, those are the only ones I have. That's crazy. Oh yeah, and then it pulled back here. But forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, when I seen those two outliers appear around 60/79, 60/80, so like around here somewhere, I was waiting for a pull back to it. But when I first seen those outliers appear, I did go zoom out like this, how I have this chart, and I seen that okay, this is the bottom of consolidation. this is the top of resistance. So that becoming a key level based on the fact that we were bouncing off a 1 hour demand, still making higher lows for the week. This was all just bullish to me. We weren't testing pre-market low yet. So to me, I was like, if that's not gonna break, then pre-market high is gonna break. So pre-market high became my target. Um, but yeah, just right when the outliers appeared, I zoomed out and I was like, okay, this is a key level because of this and because of this. So that built confidence in my setup. And
See,
then,
he saw the outlier first and then gauged market context.
yeah, and even looking at NQ, the same thing. It was consolidation. We held it. It was resistance. We rejected it there. So then when market came back, I also paid attention to this. The wicks here were making higher lows. So when the market came back down and it aggressively was holding above VWAP, that was bullish sentiment to me. But yeah, Gabriel's right. When I seen the outliers appear, I instantly zoomed out to look at my context of why that makes sense. So you really want to balance that in your mind of like, okay, there's an outlier, but it also makes sense because we see this key level that formed. Um, we could look at bookmap just to see how my entry was. February 13th, 650. Oh, it already happened. Oh shit, I'm not showing that to you guys.
Hey, what is Bitcoin doing, man? It's just consolidating for like days.
Giving you time to buy.
And now it's waiting. I need some money.
I have $100 that I want to buy more, but I'm like, fuck, just pull back to 92 real quick.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna drop though.
Me too. I actually thought it was gonna drop this weekend.
Thank God it didn't.
I got 1,000 ready to go.
See,
I pulled out my
Can you guys
QQQ.
see my book map?
yeah.
Yeah.
So on the sell off in the morning, it formed this 6081 outlier, and then so 900 lots at 6080, and then this 6080 buyer formed, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And the fact that it popped up with aggressiveness, I was like, okay, that in general made me bullish because it was bouncing off of my key level. But then when this outlier appeared at the same spot that this outlier appeared, and that also aligned with the context that I was just showing you, that was super important to me. And then boom, the pop happens off of that outlier. And see how like I zoomed in a little more and now you can't see it? That pop happened off 6080. How many points is that? 4 points there to 6084. And then it pulled back right here, and I entered at 650.36. So I seen this buying happen. I was being a bit patient. 650. So it seems like I entered on this little set of buyers, and I went ahead and just took it with the stop at what date? 7/13. Stop 6076. So around right here. It was just slightly under my entry. Why was my stop there? Was there a wick? Shit, where is it? So it was right under the wick. I think this day I was also moving my stop from 6077 to 6076. I kept like kind of just moving the hard stop a bit. I hate doing that, but I do it anyways. But yeah, this was a great year. Long. I could have kept holding when I exited at pre-market high 6087. No sign of selling, which
I think you got a better trade.
what?
You got a better entry than Carmine did that day.
Oh yeah, he got in somewhere like over here, I think.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I really like this trade. This one was hyped me up. I think NQ was also a big influence on its strength, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, that honestly, that has been helping me so much on like just giving me trust in what I'm doing. Yeah, NQ was super strong that day. Um, VX was pretty weak too. But yeah, that was my setup. The 14th, was that yesterday? Yeah.
You didn't do shit yesterday.
Oh yeah, yesterday was trash. Did you take a trade this day, Eli? The
13.
13th?
Yeah, I took a short at 6:45 and I got stopped. And then I think I retried it. A lot of my trades right now have been retrying my initial first loss because I'm like, oh, maybe I just entered wrong. And so I took a second short at 6:51.
Was
I
there
can
an
tell you right.
outlier?
I'm reading my notes.
I can
Uh,
tell you right. Oh, no.
I was just gonna say, this trade. I think there was once I told you I accidentally deleted my screenshots, but I think there was an outlier. But the outlier in
Is
it,
it this? I think it is right here, 6087, because you said 6045, and that's around
I entered at the
6084.
price of 60.81, and I got
I got
I was
V1.
short. I was short, and yeah, I was like right there, right? And so I kind of entered like right there, and then but before I entered, I got stopped. But then I look at that following drop, I was like, oh, it did work in my favor, but not by enough. Like I was like, even it went in my favor by a couple of points. That wasn't a good trade because then it
Mhm.
was probably just like a small little pullback because then it went the opposite direction.
What was your second entry?
At 6:51 at 60.78.
Yeah, so it looks like you were trying to use this outlier. Um, I kind of do remember you mentioning that.
And this week it helped a lot that I was developing more like uh, context for my mind, for like my own self to realize that it doesn't make sense and this is why. Where once again, from previous reviews, I was like, oh look, it's not getting past that buying outlier, which means maybe the sellers are trying to step in. And then I was biased with that. I'm like, yeah, but it's gonna work because look, it had that little drop, so I'm gonna try it again. But yeah, there's something right now I can't think of, but I know what I'm doing wrong. Like the context that
I
I'm
was gonna
using,
say, I feel like you know the concept of the outlier, but you're struggling with the idea of where the direction of the market is going. Because there was a supply zone here, and there was consolidation resistance the way Gabriel had kind of explained last week. And there was that 6081 outlier. So the short does kind of
Makes
have
sense.
like I do see why you would try it, but
Yeah.
contextually it doesn't make sense.
I would say go into next week really trying to look at the market and look at where the market's at and how you can like draw your key zones based off the context. Like really work on market context because I'm starting to realize like before Eric even mentioned like he's learning market context, I wasn't even paying attention to that. And now I'm realizing that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So I would really like focus on that because you do got the outlier thing, but you are struggling to see where the market's gonna go. Because me and Eric, I remember this. Oh no, this is Friday, huh? On Thursday, we were both saying like it was bullish or whatever, but then you went short. Was this Thursday or Friday?
Oh shit, I pulled up the wrong chart here. My
Yeah.
bad.
But yeah, I would just work on market context and like really even like play these. I don't know if you listen to the reviews again, but replay the reviews because I always miss shit. So when I go back to it, I'm like, oh shit, you did say that. So yeah, just work on context.
For sure. Yeah, I need to go back to those reviews and get that jam I gave you about the double click.
Dude, that's legit a gem, dude. That's gonna save me so much time.
I'm over here studying the wrong shit. It's like, check this out. If you right click here.
You're studying the fucking shortcuts on TOS.
It's kind of crazy for me in my mind to be like, I was going hard, like last year studying TOS and taking trades off options, and now we're like on a whole nother world of futures.
Yeah,
And it's not even
I can
that
tell
crazy
you.
of an adjustment. It was just in my mind, I'm like, I'm not even good at the first thing. Y'all already want me to move to the second thing, and it was like
eh,
an understandable adjustment. I was like, oh, we just want to
No,
just.
no joke. Options is way harder than futures, I think.
Fuck yeah.
Is it that
I was,
different, or
I
is it
was
just because of the theta?
the data, dude. I was struggling with options.
And you didn't want to switch to futures.
I know, only because I was like, all right, now I gotta, because I didn't know what futures was. To be honest, I thought I was gonna have to learn a whole new thing, and I was like, dude, options was such a bitch to learn, man. Why am I gonna switch to futures after this? And I'm never looking back now.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You know how you were saying you weren't paying attention to market context? I feel like in the way I learned trading, I also was it's kind of weird because I feel like Carmine teaches you to just go straight into like order flow and he doesn't his videos were like very brief on context.
Yeah, he doesn't really get specific into it. You had to really like either learn for yourself or find someone else to explain it.
Yeah, because they were very brief. But I think Dylan is the one who like made me really start to like be like, oh shit, like context has a little more importance than I've realized.
Yeah, big time.
There's some people are
That's really go ahead.
some people are just different type of teachers. Where I'm sure Carmine is aware of the context, but he's like, it's more of like he's just seeing what it looks like. He's not explaining what it looks like. He's just kind of like, yep, I'm used to seeing that, so I know what that means for me. Whereas maybe
Yeah,
Dylan's like, he's intricate with the details of like, this is why you got to think about that.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But I do say Dylan's way of doing videos is tough to sit through sometimes.
That's why I
But
don't
I think
watch
he's
them,
been
dude.
criticized for it. So I feel like that's why he's making shorter form content. You guys should really watch the last two of his. They were good. Because like he's giving the gems like back to back. I had to like even replay because I was like, oh shit, like that's good.
The last one you posted, I did watch, or the last one you told us to watch, but I just haven't watched this one yet.
You sent
Six
one, I think,
sports.
a week or two ago that was like a 2 hour video, and I
Yeah,
remember
that
I
was
listened to it and I was like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" Like, he was deep with, like, he was using words that I'm sure we'll learn in the future, but he was just speaking from like a frame of like a couple way advanced, and I'm like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
watching his videos too is what made me have trust in invested trade. I was like, this dude knows what he's talking. I just don't understand it.
yeah, for sure. He's super dry.
Um, 614. What do you guys see right now? My chart or book map?
TOS.
Sure.
Oh wait,
Ah,
let me
that's
end that
my
last
chart.
video. Let me end this video. I haven't ended it.